am not a role model. I'm not paid to be a role model. I am paid to wreak havoc on the basketball court. Parents should be role models. Just because I dunk a basketball doesn't mean I should raise your kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 12 of the Don't Piss Me Off podcast. Podcast in under 20 minutes. You know the motto, you know the slogan. This is your boy Mike B, and I'm so excited about this episode. This is something that I've been wanting to touch on for a long time, and I have spoken on this on various statuses throughout my Facebook career. And I just wanted to bring it to a pod. Now, what we talking about today is the kids and role models. Excuse me. We're talking about the kids and celebrities. Should celebrities be held accountable for your kids' actions? In other words, should celebrities be deemed as role models? Now, this is a very complex situation. Everybody has an opinion on this. This is something that has been talked about, like I said, on Facebook for a long time. And like I said, I wanted to bring it to the audio. So, should celebrities be role models to the children? Now, of course, like I always do, I'm going to give y'all my spiel, let y'all know how I feel about the situation. Then I'm going to open up the phone lines and I'm going to bring in some of my homeboys and homegirls so y'all can hear how they feel about the situation. So, who's raising the kids? Should celebrities be role models? Now, as y'all heard in the beginning of the pod, the clip of Charles Barkley, that's an old NBA clip of Charles Barkley saying, I am not a role model. Me, I agree with that. He's not a role model. Okay, before y'all start whining, bitching, and complaining, let me explain what I mean by that. He feels like he's not a role model. He shouldn't be a role model to your kids. You should be the role model. You should be raising your kids, which is true. Now, on the hindsight of that, I understand that kids are going to look up to public figures. Kids are going to look up to celebrities because that's just a part of life. I've done it. I know you've done it, and your kids are doing it. We all look up to some type of celebrity for some type of inspiration. Some type of, I wouldn't say guidance, but you see something that you're interested in. You have a favorite rapper. We all have a favorite rapper. We all have a favorite athlete. We all have a favorite actor or actress, etc., etc., etc. So we look up to these people. But at the end of the day, when we were kids, even although we may be looking up to whoever you were looking up to, it's not their ultimate responsibility to groom us to be model citizens. That job is up to our parents. It's up to our parents to nurture us and shelter us. And I don't want to use the word shelter, but I'm gonna throw that word out there, to shelter us and shield us from shit they don't want us to see or they don't want us doing. When I was a kid, I would listen to rap. Close my door, listen to rap with cursing. I didn't let my mama know I was listening to that. Although it got to the point where she started to hear me listen to it, and she would try to say things, but me being a boy and doing what I wanted to do, I swept this shit under the rug and I was gonna do it anyway. But what I'm saying is, when a lot of these things that come out, rap, video games, things on TV, all of these things have censors, people. They have censors. Rap have censors on the labels. We all know why the censors were created. If you don't know why censorship was created on rap, go do your Googles. I ain't got time to explain that on this pod. But rap has censorship. Video games have ratings. They have censorship on video games. Movies have ratings. We all know movies have rated R, PG-13, and all that shit. You understand? So we know these things beforehand before we let our kids indulge into these things. Now, the difference between the kids today and when I was growing up, we didn't have social media. We didn't have a lot of these things at our fingertips to where we could access a lot of these things without our parents knowing. You know what I'm saying? We were still accessing things without our parents knowing back then, but it was a lot harder. It was a lot easier for them to kind of monitor what we were doing, because I couldn't walk into Sam and Goody at 9 years old and purchase a Tupac CD without my parent being right there. You feel me? So in other words, if my parent bought that CD, she or he knew that I was getting ready to listen to that, unless they bought me the clean version. Now these kids have these phones where everything is just at the fingertips. The drop of a dime, they can pull up whatever they want on YouTube. Speaking of the social media, with the TikTok, TikTok supposed to be a fun family app. And you got all these sexual challenges that's going on TikTok. I'm feeling like I need to take that away from my son, because he's only 6 years old. And honestly, I don't want him to see that right now. I don't want him to ruin his TikTok experience because of all of these adult challenges that's going on, which I don't have a problem with because I'm enjoying them personally, but I'm an adult. He's a kid. What am I doing? I'm trying my best to monitor what my child is looking at. Am I going to get mad at the people that's on TikTok making these challenges? No, because they're grown people and they're doing it for the grown people that's on TikTok. But you see where I'm going with it? And it kind of kills me that, you have some of these people out here that are critics that want to blame the rappers for violence in the streets and all this shit. You blaming the rappers and certain athletes or whatever, but that same person that want to blame this rapper will go sit and watch Scarface and say that's one of the best movies that he's ever seen. That's a whole nother element that I don't get, and I'm trying not to veer off onto what we're really talking about, but it all ties in together of what's going on, what's being watched, and what's being monitored. But back to the subject at hand. I feel like the kids that are being exposed to these things, it's the parents' job to monitor and watch what's going on. It is not the celebrity's job to do that. Entertainers are going to be entertainers, and the entertainer has to be true to themselves. If the entertainer is a raunchy raunchy female rapper, or a hood rapper, that's just who they are. We can't fault them for being who they are and our kids being exposed to that, because they're going to be exposed to that one way or another. It's going to come on TV, they're going to see it on YouTube, it's going to come on the radio, they're going to see it. So it's our job as parents to best educate them the best way we can on what's right, what's wrong, what's fact, and what's fiction. I never felt like I should hold a celebrity accountable for something, that they obviously made for an adult. Like, for instance, when Cardi B and Megan made the WAP video last year and it went in a frenzy, which I didn't understand why people were going in a frenzy for that, when they're not the first two women rappers to make a sexual song. And by the way, Cardi B and Megan always make sexual songs, so I don't even know why that was a big surprise, but I guess since they did it together, the people just took it and just blew it out of proportion. But they made that song for adults. They did not make that song for kids. Not one time did they get on a record before the record and make a disclaimer and said, hey, we made this for children. That's for an adult. Now, when kids seen it, okay, they seen it. But you as a parent, if you don't want your child watching it, hey, you got to do your job and say, hey, this is not what you gonna do. This is for an adult. That's not Cardi B and Megan fault, so you cannot blame them for that. And that goes on a broad spectrum for pretty much everything. Like I said, rapping, movies, video games, whatever. We cannot hold these celebrities accountable. Now, what we can do, we can make sure they are aware of that kids are watching them, so they can be a little bit more cautious to what they do and what they say. But then at the end of the day, if we do that, are we really allowing them to be true to themselves? We can't tell them to put a limit on their creativity just because, we don't want to offend somebody with children. That's not how it works. If they are who they are, then they're going to be who they are. There's nothing that we can do about that. I think the only time in certain instances that we can make that case is you take a person like Justin Bieber, which is no disrespect to Justin Bieber because I fuck with homie. But you take a case like that, when Justin Bieber first came out, Justin Bieber appeared to the children. He appeared to the white audience. Justin Bieber was making the pop songs. Justin Bieber got a taste of that hood life. And now when you see Justin Bieber, he tatted up, he hanging with the rappers, he sipping lean and all this other shit. I can understand in that aspect why a parent may feel like they're upset at that, because, when you come out one way and you turn into a totally different person, then that could be an issue. And that could be influencing their kids to think that's okay when it's not okay. So I do understand that, but listen to what I just said, people. Justin Bieber came out one way as a pop kid, a Disney kid, and went turned to a thug. Okay, that may be a problem, but for the people that came out as thugs from the gate, we already know who they are. That's what we expect. We cannot be mad at them. We cannot expect them to change from a thug to a pop star. You're not supposed to go backwards. You're really not supposed to change at all. You're supposed to be who you are. But people, people gonna change. But when you change from Disney to the fucking Compton Hood channel, then yeah, that may be a problem. You feel me? But that's just how I feel. Like I said, I'm gonna give my spiel. I feel like celebrities should not be held accountable. They could be more cautious, but at the end of the day, they're gonna be them. They're gonna do what they do. And like I said, us as parents, it's our responsibility to make sure that these children are being groomed and taught by us people, us, the parents. So I'm going to open up the phone lines. I got my homegirl Sade on the line. I got my homeboy Keish, he back. I'm finna open up these lines. They gonna let y'all know how they feel about the situation. And it's going down like that.
Okay, so the cut and dry answer is no. No celebrities should be held accountable as role models. Now, the more drawn out answer to that is that I think that celebrities, even though they shouldn't be held accountable as role models, I think that they should be conscious of the reality of the fact that that's what they are. Granted, role models, should be your parents, your people, people you look up to that are doing something positive in life, yada, yada, yada. But as you know, in 2021, right and wrong has become very subjective. So the role models of today and the role models of, the generations before and the generations before, they change. Back in the game, pimps was role models. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just differs with the generation. But ultimately, no, celebrities shouldn't be held accountable. It should be the parents. It should be the guardians. But, I mean, not everybody has parents. Not everybody has guardians, believe it or not. And so then, I guess the question becomes, is it society's role to create role models for your children? No, it's not. But they're out there. That's the reality of it. And I think that celebrities could stand to be a bit more conscious of their, just at the height of their platforms and how many people they reach. I mean, granted, everybody's not going to agree on everything. Everybody has different opinions and ideas about this and this and this and that. And I'm definitely one of those people who get caught up in like, no, that's not true. I'm totally one of those people. But at the end of the day, people are going to feel how they feel. But I feel like when you are spreading information or, just any type of message to the world and you have a platform like some of these celebrities do, I just think at the very least that you should be spitting out some truth. You feel me? I mean, you have celebrities that get on these platforms and they just spit out all kind of just whatever. No verification, no backup, no fact standing, none of that. You feel me? You have youth out here, you have just, not even just you, just gullible people in general that believe all of that. That believe that this is how this is supposed to work. This is how this is supposed to go. So it just depends. Role models are based in what you believe is right versus wrong. What is going to get you success versus being an unsuccessful person. So I guess it just depends on that child's vision of what success looks like. But ultimately, I go all the way back around to come back to my first point that no, celebrities should not be held accountable for being your children's role model. Unfortunately, we live in a world now where lots of people have platforms. Some of those people probably shouldn't have a platform, but that's just how the world goes. That's what social media has brought to us. That's just what it is at this point. And although, we've had a couple of conversations just in general about censorship and things like that in these last couple of months due to the election and all those types of things, I do believe in freedom of speech. And for that reason, I think people should be able to have a platform to say whatever they want. And if they aren't conscious about what they're telling and what they're spreading to the youth, then, it is what it is. You can't get in trouble for that. It becomes a moral issue. So, people are going to do what they want, and kids are going to see it. If social media is not getting any more, less intrusive than it's been for these last couple of years. So with that being said, raise your kids. All you can really do is start at home because it's out there. They're going to see it. They're going to feel it. They're going to get it from their peers. We got it from our peers when we were younger, but it just wasn't on the scale that it is now. You feel me? We were able to be young and dumb and listen to our young and dumb ass friends. These kids, they got too much information at their fingertips. So much that they don't know where to go. They don't know where to take it. They don't know, what's true, what's false. So I think that that's going to be something that becomes an issue as we keep moving into the future generations. And I think that just in general, parents are going to have to take a stand in explaining to their kids the things that they are seeing on social media, the things that they do hear from celebrities, because it's not on the celebrity to parent your kid. It's not on the celebrity to break it down in the way that you would break it down.
The reason I say it's odd is because America in general just pretends to have this superior moral compass where we hold politicians and public figures to a very unrealistic standard that most average human beings don't abide by anyway. And people forget that these athletes, these actors, these singers, musicians, politicians, they're all regular people. They put their pants on one leg at a time just like you do. They gotta pee, they gotta poop, they gotta eat, they bleed, they sweat. They regular people. So to hold them to assume that they should have a much larger moral compass than the average person is silly, in my opinion. Now, the reason I say it's understandable is because, you know, people want the status quo to be abided by. You know what I mean? You don't want anarchy. You don't want you don't want too much individual thought. That's really how things are set up, honestly. And people who are in a position of influence, that's exactly what they're in a position to do, influence your children. So the behavior that you and or your children see, you want that to be acceptable behavior, or what's deemed acceptable by society. You want them to model what a good citizen is for your children, even though you should be doing that yourself. Because your kids may look up to them more than they look up to you, sadly. But at the end of the day, it's nobody's job to raise your children. I think the amount of pressure that they put on public figures is unfair. I get it comes with the territory, it comes with the tax bracket and all that, but it's unfair. Because they're just normal human beings. They're not superheroes. No more than you're a superhero. You know, parents have to start being more transparent with their children. Tell your kids about your fuck ups. Tell your kids where you went wrong, how you made a mistake. Admit when you're wrong when you're dealing with them. You know what I mean? That's how you model things for them. You know, be transparent and be straightforward with them. You know, you can't depend on these celebrities. They just other people, just like you. They're imperfect, just like you. They have their own issues and their own kids to raise. They ain't responsible for yours. So people got to keep that into account. But I get it.
Sade and Keish, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming on the line, giving me those in-depth answers. I hope y'all was paying attention and listening. Everything they saying is true. Everything I agree with. Real quick, I know I'm coming up on the 20-minute mark. This is something that I wanted to try. This is something new that I wanted to do, and I've been asking these questions on Facebook using easypolls.net, asking questions between music, movies, media, etc. So, according to y'all, which artist had a better breakout album? 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying in 2003, or Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap in 2018? And according to y'all Facebook, 79% of y'all said 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying was a better breakout album than Victory Lap, Nipsey Hussle 2018. And that's a real hard one because I love both albums from front to back. Both artists are great. Rest in peace to the legendary Nipsey Hussle. The next question was, which one of these actors and their works had to be erased or be gone forever? And those actors was Will Smith, Samuel Jackson, and Denzel Washington. And surprisingly, 71% of y'all said Will Smith is that actor that had to be gone forever. 29% of y'all voted Samuel Jackson. Nobody voted Denzel, which I'm not surprised, but I am surprised by the Will Smith answer. I thought y'all fuck with Will Smith. That kind of fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? And the one that I did today, y'all, which was a better album between Usher Confessions and R. Kelly, TP2.com. That's a real tough one because both albums Word. I won't even go there. Y'all know where I'm going with it. 32% of y'all said Usher. 68% of y'all said R. Kelly TP2 was a better album than Usher's Confessions. I don't know. That's, like I said, that's kind of a hard one. R. Kelly definitely did his thing. You know, no matter the situation he in right now, we can't take that album from him. But Usher had that shit on fire in 2004 with that album. And both albums you can still play today from front to back. So, I don't know. We just gonna have to roll with it. But this has been episode 12 of the Don't Piss Me Off podcast. I'm running a little over, but that's okay. I'm gonna edit it up. Episode 13 on the way. Spotify, YouTube. Thank you, Sade. Thank you, Keish, for coming on the show. Should celebrities raise your kids? Who's raising the kids? I hope y'all listen to this episode and learn something. I do appreciate everybody that's coming on, everybody that's subscribing. I cannot do this without you. Peace.